their whole life not being a part of that thing. And I'm talking about like the white people here. Like those
white people, like, I remember there's this, one of my favorite videos is, it's titled, we call it Independence Day. It's like when one of our generals made this white woman cry. And he made her cry, and he said to her, all your life you just been liberal, allowed to go get drunk and get high, never could realize you're benefiting on the murder of your fathers. Because most white people, especially in 2024, they're all oblivious to what we're talking about in most cases. And so I'm not saying that they know this history, but it's history nonetheless. Black people are just oblivious. We get a lot of flack from black people. You start talking to black people about slavery, man, they don't want to hear that. Black people don't want to hear about slavery. Black people don't want to hear about this. And sometimes they don't want to deal with it. As much as you say white people don't want to accept accountability for something that they wasn't a part of, black people don't want to face the trauma that comes with slavery. But if you don't face how could you survive? You have to.
But that's also my issue with that parallel is that yes, while there could be some generational effects and trauma of that, you weren't there when that was happening, right? So you're 140 years, 100, 150, 160 years past that at this point. So the people you're speaking to did not have to have that up close and experience that themselves. And so sometimes it then feels like you are reminding them to remind themselves that, like, no, you're a victim. And, like, listen, I don't doubt that there are issues, some systemic issues in the country. We talked about them on this podcast before that they need to be fixed. I'm not discounting that. But I am saying when you take away the initial idea of, like, ooh, let me use what I can of America to my advantage to get ahead, and instead of saying that, you say, no, focus on what they did to put you behind. You prevent people from trying to actually use the tools to their leverage that we've seen other black people do, by the way, to rise up and be a power figure in society.
No, well, we actually, like, I'm a business owner. So I own my own business, so I got to work.
What business do you have?
I have a body butter and body oil business.
Body butter and body oil.
Yeah, so imagine somebody like me. I sell fragrance oils, body butters, rubbing on your body, feel good. I sell hair oil, beard oil,
you got a soft
candles.
That's cool. You're not selling that Diddy oil, are you?
Hell no. No Diddy oil over here. But now, so my point was, like,
you don't have to claim him, by the way. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't. You're right. I condemn him though, because anyway.
Good.
But only thing I'll say is that he hasn't been convicted yet.
That's fine.
So, and I would like to see, and the thing about with the Diddy thing is, whatever he's charged with, I hope it's something. I don't want to say hope, but I just want it to be something where he had somebody do something against their will, as opposed to somebody saying he told me I wouldn't get rich unless I did this. Because there's a difference. If somebody comes to you and say, I have to violate you for your record to get played, right? If I have to violate you for your record to get played, and you let him violate you so your record get played, you can't get charged for a crime. You just stupid. You shouldn't have done that. Now let's.
Oh, you don't think so?
No, not if he gave you I have to do this to you, or I'm not gonna play your record. I have to do this to you, or I'm not gonna make you famous. And you decide to be famous by letting him do that to you, then you just stupid because you willingly did it.
But what if you're young and this is a power figure, you're in a private place with him in this perspective, and he has taken advantage of you?
If you're young, then I put that on the parents. Now, if you're underage, then I do fault you.
No, I'm even saying if you're like 20 years old or 21 years old, people I do view it as a crime as someone using a position of supreme power to pressure someone, like, basically with a wink, like, you got to do this. There's no choice here. Like, they essentially kind of take away their free will.
It definitely is a pressure, extreme peer pressure, but it's also the peer pressure of being famous at the same time. So I can agree with you and still have my position. It's like a thin line. So I can't disagree with what you're saying. And because my major point is, if you was a willing participant, if you was an unwilling participant, he should be under the jail.
Okay.
If you was a willing participant, I do slightly agree with what you're saying, but I agree with my position too. If you're willing, you can't fault him for what you walked into. You let this man do this to you so you can make money. Now, if you're underage, that goes without question that he should be under the jail for that. I'm just saying it because there's a lot of stuff coming out, and I really just want to see real charges. That's all I want.
Yeah.
And I don't care about him. I think, he's a drug addict. He's taking advantage of a lot of people, so I don't care for him at all. But in being honest, if this grown man decided to let another grown man violate him so he can get famous, I ain't really got that much, compassion.
I see what you're saying. And to your point, he does have to have his day in court.
Right. And so, but now from what you were saying as far as the American side, we got engineers in our organization. We got college graduates in our organization. We got businessmen. We got we got nurses. We got lawyers. We got all different types of people in our organization. We're just we're just an organization that does not get rid of the crimes that's been committed. And here's when you say like stuff that's happened a long time ago and why we don't let it go. There's always something that transpires or galvanizes us in America, like a George Floyd will happen. Eric Gardner will happen. Rodney King will happen. All these different events that reminds us of the racism that exists. That Dylan Storm that goes in the North Carolina church and unalives those people.
A lot of people.
And then what were those people trying to do? Now, this is what separates us from Christians. We would have beat the shit out of him. He might have shot one of us. One of us would have sacrificed. Everybody else would have unalived Dylan in that church.
He shot pretty fast, though. They didn't
Wouldn't matter. Let's say if he'd have shot 3 of us, he could have shot as many as he wanted. But there's no way nobody was not going to try to disarm him. And he reloaded the weapon. And as he's doing all of that, you know what they're doing? They're praying for him. And so that's the history that we're always reminded of, which is why there ain't been there hasn't been a form of retribution from America from a government position. You just brought up Abraham Lincoln had this plan of this 40 acres of the mule. What did they do? Unalive him and then take the land back that they gave. So there's never been an apology. Now I'm going to flip it on you. Because like you said, this is 100 some odd years from it. I'm 49, so I haven't experienced slavery. I've experienced oppression before, but not slavery. When the Jewish man, they still, in January of this year, Jewish people still got 100 and something million from the New York governor for the Holocaust. Even though.
Can we look that up? I don't even know.
Yeah, that's the New York governor.
Yeah, let's look that up.
Look up New York governor.
New York governor, money, Holocaust, Jewish people.
Yep. Look that up for me.
Guys, 3 days into this game and I have uninstalled.
All right, so Governor Hochul announces Holocaust Claims Processing Office secured over $183 million for victims and beneficiaries. An ny.gov website belongs to. Wow, that's straight from
So when we talk about, like, when people always say, "Well, y'all got to let that go. When you're gonna stop doing this?" They're still doing this for them, even though the Holocaust was like let's say 10 years. Let's say 10 years that tragic event happened to the Jewish people. So from that 10-year event, they'll still lock up Germans. Let them find a German cat. He could be 100 years old.
Yeah, they go after him.
They're gonna go after him. They still funding them. They consistently fund Jewish people. They make sure that you can't disrespect Jewish people at all. They give them all the respect in the world because they honor what the Germans did to them was a horrific crime. We've never received that same honor. We've never received that same dignity. So there ain't a leg that America could stand on to come to me to say, Tazaryach, y'all have to stop talking about that. You have to stop bringing this up. Why do you keep saying to separate from this place? Why do you say you hate us when we're constantly being reminded of said position?
I think there's a point to be made there.
Okay.
I think there's a fairness to that point. Where people get hung up, obviously, is like what we've been talking about all day, where other people are like, well, this was 150 years ago, I wasn't even here, right? And so, and we call white everything, and probably like 75% of the white people are of immigrants, right? Who weren't here. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. However, to go back to something we talked about earlier, I think it ties in here. You are of the position that when we did try to take actions that I guess like the people who were taking them for the right reasons would view as trying to improve the situation, at least. Maybe not doing some of this stuff right here, but for example, during the civil rights movement, desegregating things, allowing America to be one instead of this separate whole. Part of your belief system, though, is that we should do that.
So no, that we shouldn't desegregate.
Exactly. That we, meaning we should go back to what it was. And you're saying the benefit is because then the black community can be a self-sufficient organization that services itself.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not, though, giving the powers that be, who maybe in this case, for hypothetically speaking, are racist, exactly what they want?
So part of the reason that I say that is look at the history of desegregation of black people, right? Segregation of black people brought the Brown versus Board of Education, which I spoke about. Our drugs flooded into our neighborhood. They're not flooded into white neighborhoods at all. Our homes being
destroyed. Wait, that's not true.
No, they're not. You ever been into a black neighborhood and a white neighborhood?
Well, what kind of white neighborhood? What kind of black neighborhood? I've been in black neighborhoods that have no drugs. I've been in black neighborhoods that have a lot of drugs. I've been in white neighborhoods that have no drugs. I've been in white neighborhoods.
So if I take North, when I'm driving through North, and I'm on South Orange Avenue in North because I'm driving up in North, I'll know when I'm in a white neighborhood.
I can see every leaf on that tree. They're called pinhole vision correction glasses. No prescription. It's just tiny little pinholes in the plastic lens. Apparently they train your eye to focus with just wearing them 20 minutes a day. So whether you're nearsighted, farsighted, or have astigmatism, they reduce your eye strain and help strengthen your muscles over time. I've worn them for about a week, and last night I noticed while driving, at night, there were less halos around all of the lights that were outside, which is extremely noticeable, especially since I've been seeing those halos for years. They're only $15, and I think today they're having a sale, so they're even cheaper than that. And you get free shipping. I'll leave the link right there.
Hood on the same street, because the closer I get to South Orange, that's right at the tip of North, I don't see the broken glass. I don't see the messed up trees. I don't see the stores messed up. I don't see a liquor store every other corner.
Okay.
I don't see those things. So the way that the black neighborhoods are set up are in total contrast than the white neighborhood. Now, before integration, the black neighborhood wasn't like that. You always hear you may not hear, but black people always talk about the yesteryear where we didn't have to lock our doors. We didn't have to do none of those things. Now, what happened? The CIA, along around Reagan and all of them, and even before Reagan, had the drug war, where they started flooding our neighborhoods. And so when I'm saying drugs, I'm not saying that there's absolutely no drugs in the white community. I'm really saying at the level that it is in the black community, because we learned later that the CIA was flooding us with drugs. At the same time they got the war on drugs, they got the war on black people by putting the drugs in there. So that's twofold.
Have you ever seen that headline from the New York Times about that? The CIA with the putting drugs in neighborhoods in America? It's literally, we could pull it up, Alessia, but there was a headline back then that said, the CIA investigated itself on putting drugs in the neighborhoods of America and found no wrongdoing.
Wow. Of course not. Hey, we did the investigation, we straight. And that's a beautiful painting right there.
Right there, that's the eyes. It's off camera right now. I'll put it on camera on my phone, but that's the eyes of
nice
Great
painting.
Gatsby from the story. What Dr. T.J. Eckelberg's eyes.
Okay.
I've always had that in the studio.
Yeah, I like that. So
I don't know if he's a white guy or a black guy though. He's a blue guy.
Hey, art is art.
Yeah.
Music is music. Listen, I used to love Nirvana before he unalived himself. Smells like Teen Spirit.
You're in so he was just
I better not do that. They're gonna make a clip out of Cactus into rock. Like, entertain us. Yeah, I used to like that.
You know, okay,
Yeah.
so Kurt would have been safe.
I don't know about safe, but I like the song.
It would have been like, play the goddamn song again.
Put it up. Hey. He's like, it's the 100th time. It's the 100th time.
Just like in Goodfellas when he's like, dance, buddy.
Yeah, dance, and shot him in the foot. Yeah, so it's just so with the desegregation part, like we lost, like them drugs like ravaged the black community. Like we still ain't survived from that. Like now they ain't on the dope and the crack. You know, they taking every pill.